any.
Let's try.
Does anybody want skin? I do. Yep. You can have the rest of it.
Hey, you're fine. Clover's always used to standing straight in here, but somehow the two of them are being absolutely ridiculous and won't just stand against their sides.
And they're blocking himself.
My fridge overfloweth with milk, so it's time to do some milk processing today. I got 2 trays for the freeze dryer of liquid gold. That is just as colostrum. Look at that color, guys. That's just magic. And then 2 trays of goat's milk. These each fit about 5 cups. So I'm just pre-freezing them. I actually, funny enough, had 2 trays of colostrum and 2 trays of goat's milk pre-frozen for like weeks now from some colostrum I had for a friend to freeze dry. So I just threw them in the freeze dryer and got these pre-freezing to do next. Having extra trays is really helpful because being able to pre-freeze things speeds up your turnover time. And so if you're getting a freeze dryer, second set of trays, definitely worth it. So this is skim milk left. I skimmed off a bunch of cream. And some of it's gonna be for drinking, some of it's gonna be for chickens and calves and such. And because I'm still figuring out the machine, I don't 100% trust my cleanliness and process yet, so I don't want to make any aged cheeses. And I don't need any yogurt or mozzarella, so lucky chickens. So we bought a secondhand 2.5 gallon churn, and we haven't used it yet. It was taken apart to get mailed to us, but we're putting it together because I've got 4 or 5 liters of cream, and that would be 2 runs in the 1 gallon. So it's time to put away the 1 gallon churn for a while and use the bigger one. Also, water glassing eggs is what's going on over here. Technically it's called liming eggs. We did this last year. We did it in buckets. Marius asked if we could do it in 1 gallon buckets or jars, and I wanted to save the 1 gallon buckets for honey. So we're doing it in jars because we have more milk jars than we need. Recently a friend of mine was like, I counted and I have 40 1 gallon jars. And I was like, how many 1 gallon jars do we have? Friends, we have at least 60 1 gallon jars. Actually, I think there's 60 down in the basement for milk. And there's like a dozen in here with different dry goods in them.
And like
so I also
more with friends that's already.
Oh yeah, and then there's always ones that's one goes home with a friend and then doesn't necessarily come back. But that's fine. I did buy new milk jar lids recently, and they're gold.
Okay.
So I decided that only gold lids for milk and other things can have other jars, because we have a lot of milk jar lids that are just not great, and that's why we cover in saran wrap, but we're not going to do that now. And in the time that I was blathering on there, Matt got the churn put together. So there's a handle that he's going to do. I don't know if we need the handle. What do you think? It goes around the jar part. I think it might be handy for washing to have a handle, or do you think it's just going to be in the way?
Well, we'll just test one of the times and see if it will be useful.
I should rinse out the jar.
I'm just gonna see how it works.
Oh, thank you for the cheese.
Welcome.
Can you put it back on the counter? So I came inside from flipping steaks on the grill.
What's he got? Oh.
What's he got?
Oh.
He had himself a little snack, and don't you dare touch it. Amos Moses. For dinner tonight, we had grilled moose steak I sliced up, salad with my Caesar salad dressing. You can find that on venisonfordinner.com. My 7-minute frosting ended up a little sloppy, but thankfully just as delicious. And Marius over here was just hard boiling some eggs in the Instant Pot to make deviled eggs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should we have candy?
Yeah.
Unless you have 36 candles.
I do not have 36 candles.
Guys, for your angel. Okay, that's why it's called angel. Once you get angel, can we put extra on? What cream?
It's actually not that much extra. I did scoop it off the back. I've got my coffee going, which Rowan is hoping to steal some of. And Amos is waiting for breakfast. He's actually eating some sausage, and Marius is making eggs and sausage for breakfast.
Forgot knives for it?
This morning I thought I saw 1 pipped. There is 11 hatched already. They hatch fast. Because I came up here before breakfast and there was 3, and now there's 11. I picked some lovage or lavage or mahi or painting. Yeah, you're painting. Or maki, they call it here too. Yeah. It tastes like celery kind of, but I'm just drying the leaves. I'm gonna move this into the dehydrator because there's too much. However, I want to show you, this is how Marius's grandpa dries all his stuff, especially things that you're just doing a little bit at a time. Like I'm just gonna have a few rose petals at a time. He just does them in empty beer flats. And we just save these to use again the next year. We put them on top of a fridge in the mudroom. So we just add them and toss them around, and these are a bunch of arnica, although right after I picked them, they went to seed, so I don't know if I can use these. But they dry out great. You just give them a toss around and not have very much time to throw dinner together before we need to milk, because, you want to lift that up? I'm going out tonight and I realized I needed some milk tonight, not just the boys. So we have Maui ribs that I had marinating. These are from a steer we raised. Can of potatoes I tossed with some ghee, and I put it on the grill while the grill was warming up. Salt and pepper. Had Caesar salad dressing already. Ran out and picked some greens, sliced up a cucumber. Are you ready for dinner? Hey, you soothers are for bedtime and babies. I'm trying to find our new rhythm in machine milking. Max got the inflation plugs on his fingers. So what we're at now is we bring both the cows in, and we get Clover brushed, washed, get her milking, and then we get Jessa brushed and washed while Clover's milking. Once Clover's done milking, they both can have grain, because Clover's a brat while she eats her grain, whereas Jessa's fine. So Jessa can eat grain while she's milking. Once they're done milking, I clean the machine. If it's not like outside dirty, I clean it out here by running water through Like I have bleach out here and I can run it through the machine. If it's really dirty, then I bring it inside so the whole thing can have a wash. I'm still figuring out the cleaning routine. Anyhow, I had this problem with Jessa being a 3-feeder and I wanted to show you. So this has a plug in it, so it's not just sucking junk off the ground. But when I put it on so they're all square how they're supposed to be, the blank one, because that back quarter doesn't work, was hanging towards the foot, and if she kicks, then it was knocking it, and it wasn't good, and sometimes I'd have it resting over top and it'd flop over. So instead I just put them on a little cockeye, so the extra one is out the front. Ta-da, problem solving. How much milk has she given us so far? 2.5 gallons?
Yeah, it's a 2. Because they're just
2?
lots of foam.
Oh, lots of foam. How much and Clover gave us about 2. Clover gave us 3.5 this morning, and Jessa gave us 3 this morning. How about you, Freya? How much milk you get?
Are you done?
Keep going.
That's one side.
For the first week or even more after a cow calves, they often have what you call udder flushing. So they look like she's getting mastitis, but as long as her udder is not hot, red, she's not, showing like she's sore, it's just fine. Sometimes it literally is just butterfat. So you can't really count how many quail there is. We're guessing in the area of 30, which means our hatch rate's about 50%. But some people say that quail hatch over a couple days, and some were our eggs and some were eggs we bought. So we're definitely giving it more days. There's still ones hatching. I see a fresh one right there. They hatch really fast. Once they crack, they are open. Oh, look at that one's markings. Oh, you can hardly see.